Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. The regular season is over and we're all into the playoffs and everyone's excited about that, but I wanted to take a step back and do a little bit of a review for you today of the bullpen and how that thing turned out in 2011, and there was lots of twists and turns. First guy we have to mention is obviously Jose Valverde. 49 for 49 this year in save opportunities. He didn't blow a single one. He was absolutely phenomenal for the Tigers. In fact, the next closest pitcher in baseball who didn't blow a single save, any idea who it is? Oh, wait a sec. He's on the Phillies. No, it's not easy to think. Jose Contreras with 5 saves was the next best reliever in baseball to convert saves without a blown save. Think about that, from 49 to 5. The next closest guy who only blew 1 save opportunity was a teammate of Contreras, and that was Anthony Bastardo, who was 8 for 9. He only blew 1. Now, John Axford did lead the National League with 46 saves. He tied with Craig Kimbrel, who I'll talk about in a moment. Axford only blew 2 opportunities, so he was very, very good. But again, Valverde was 49 for 49. He was perfect in converting saves for the Tigers. One of the main reasons why they're in the playoffs. However, I'd warn people to not get overly excited about Valverde in terms of what to expect next season. The reason for that being 2 main keys. Number 1, his walk rate, his walk per 9 inning rate was the second worst of the last 7 years. It wasn't very good. It was well over 4. That's a terrible number. And then his strikeout rate plummeted to a career worst. It was actually about 2 batters below his career rate, about 8.5 per 9 innings. Those are not 2 signs of a guy who's pitching at an elite level, despite the fact that he converted all those saves. Remember, folks, saves, a little bit tricky. It has a lot to do with the game situation, not necessarily a good reflection of how a guy's pitching. I mentioned Craig Kimbrel, so let's talk about him. He had 46 saves to tie with John Axford for second in the National League. Great, phenomenal season. 14.84 strikeouts per 9 innings. Actually, that's the 4th best mark in the history of baseball for a single season of 75 or more innings pitched. And he did such a great job with the strikeouts, Kimbrel did, that listen to this. His 127 strikeouts on the season were more than starting pitchers Alexi Ogando, Eric Bedard, Aaron Harang, Jordan Zimmerman, Jeremy Hellickson. Think about that. Your closer had more strikeouts than all of those starting pitchers. Now, there were some issues with Kimbrel. He blew 8 saves, including 1 on the last day of the season that everyone's going to remember. 2 of his last 3 save opportunities he blew. 3 of the last 8 he blew. So he did have a rough end of the season, but overall, he was just fantastic. He did a terrific job for the Braves. They really couldn't have expected more out of the first-year closer. Now, another guy who lives by the strikeout isn't a closer, though he very well could be one of the best in the game if given that opportunity with the Dodgers, and that's Kenley Jansen. Now, you may or may not be paying close attention to what he's doing, but I'm here to tell you, you need to pay close attention. The converted catcher, who basically has only been pitching for a couple of seasons, absolutely phenomenal right arm. This season, he pitched more than 50 innings, and in so doing, posted the greatest strikeout per 9 rate, minimum 50 innings pitched, in the history of baseball. 16.1 batters he struck out per 9 innings. Again, the best mark, minimum 50 innings pitched the game's ever seen. Absolutely phenomenal for him. In his career, in fact, he's thrown over 80 innings. Among pitchers who've thrown 80 innings in their career, his strikeout per 9 rate is second in history, 1/10 behind the mark posted by Craig Kimbrel, who I just mentioned. Jansen, 2.12 ERA in his career, a whip of 1.03, the strikeout rate well above 15. The guy has been phenomenal. And again, if the Dodgers give him a chance, I see no reason why he couldn't be an absolutely filthy and dominating closer for them next season. And then finally, I wanted to talk to you about some closers and just in general how to view them in the world of fantasy baseball. Now, I warn people not to reach on draft day for closers. Other people, I think, are finally coming around to that. Just look at what happened this year. Look at how many out-of-nowhere performers we saw in the bullpen come up with big save totals. Remember, it's not necessarily the skills that get people saves. It's the opportunity and trust of a manager. I've always said it. I want to target the skills and hope the role matches. And if this season, if you did that, I think you had more success than drafting some of the big-name closers at the beginning of the year. Because listen to this list of pitchers who, again, in a 12-team standard league, I honestly don't think these guys were even drafted if we go back to March. So let's run through some of the names. Jordan Walden, 32 saves. Maybe he was drafted. Sergio Santos, 30 saves. Kyle Farnsworth, 25 saves. Fernando Salas, 24 saves. Javy Guerra, 21 saves. Mark Melancon, 20 saves. Any of those names drafted in the 12-team league back in March? I don't think so, yet they all had productive seasons, and they all gave you at least 20 saves. On draft day in 2012, Don't reach for those closers. You can always find them on the waiver wire. That's basically all I got to say on that. I'm Ray Flowers at BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for listening to me with my relief pitcher overview for the 2011 season.